I mean, in our work, we're very focused. This is like, some folks call us who are like promoting anti-monopoly policy and the use of anti-monopoly law. Some folks have called us socialists, you know, but we actually, in many ways, we oppose just as strongly as we oppose the concentration of power over the distribution and use of capital by a few funds, by a few fund managers. We, would equally sort of oppose the concentration of control over the use of capital by the state, even a perfectly democratic state, which doesn't exist anywhere. It's like what we are in favor of is the wide distribution of capital, of property, real property in the hands of as many people as we can get it. And sort of the making of as many people in the world as can be made truly independent to operate within the political economy and operate within the political system, vote as they choose and work as they choose, and bring the ideas that they have, into the marketplace. So, what is this system called? For in the United States, it worked this way for 200 years. From 1776 until basically Reagan came along. It was like this was the system that we achieved with great pain, with great sacrifice, overcoming like terrible things like the enslavement of human beings. But the thing is that this system in which you basically use the power of the state to do one thing mainly, which is to break any dangerous concentration of power and control at home, or any dangerous concentration of power and control abroad, and then to stop, and then to let the people thus made free live their own lives and make their own goods and have their own thoughts and deliberate as a community of independent individuals, equal individuals. If we can rebuild that kind of political and economic democracy, and that's what we can save this world. We can save our democracies and we can save our material world. And the good news, and this is something this has been pretty, it seemed it's been bleak thus far, partly because of the nature of the debate of the questions, but it's very important that folks understand that. I would encourage anyone who watches this, to focus, to spend a little time researching what we at Open Markets have achieved. And it's like we have a former employee as the chair of the Federal Trade Commission in the United States, which is one of the two main anti-monopoly regulatory agencies in the United States. A very close friend and ally has been nominated to chair the antitrust division of the Department of Justice. President Biden gave a revolutionary speech in support of an executive order to promote, to fight concentrated power and control in the United States. This was back in July, a revolutionary speech in which he says neoliberalism, Borkism. Robert Bork, the antitrust scholar of the late 70s and early 80s, who was the father of much of neoliberal competition policy. President Biden said Borkism is a failed experiment, and we are going to go back to using the North Stars for our competition policy shall be democracy and human liberty. So There's a revolution that is actually taking place in the United States in thinking about these issues. It's taking place right now. It is supported by the White House, by Joseph Biden. It is supported by probably a majority of the members of Congress, but then of course Congress is so disrupted in the United States by outside actors. It makes it pretty hard for Congress to get things done, because you got the Coke monopolists and you got the Google and Facebook monopolists interfering in their business in such a way every day. But this revolution is real. It is potentially transformative. It is something that people around the world can all join in. You know, competition, Europeans have been very happy with their competition policy. They've seen themselves as the leaders of the world. I will tell you right now, it's like Joseph Biden and the people, and you know, people like Lena Khan and Jonathan Cantor have leapt so far in advance of where any of the regulators in Europe are, with a few exceptions. Andreas Munt is a real hero in this. But you know, Europeans can like move this stuff along at a vastly faster level. And you know, there's another aspect about this. This is not simply sort of new approach to regulation. This is a moment for intellectual awakening or reawakening. The Enlightenment, 1776, 1789. Those were fights to throw off old ways of thinking. The corporations, to destroy the corporations, or to break the power of the corporations that held us in an intellectual awe. The monarchy, the church. And the result of breaking the power of these corporations that held us in intellectual awe was this awakening to the power of human beings to make the world a better place. For the last 40 years, as we've seen power concentrated in these corporations, as the economists in our midst have been the priests for the economists, hiding power, hiding their predation. We as people have been locked into tighter and tighter intellectual structures, into a black box created by the monopolists. What we're doing right now, by the monopolists and their partners, the neoliberal economists, what we're doing right now is we've broken that black box open, and people are walking out into the light of day. And we have the ability, all of us, as we throw off this thinking that has been imposed on us and these political strictures, we can use our own minds, our own reason, in ways that we have not used in our lifetimes. It's time for us all to reawaken. And if we reawaken to the true nature of power, we can structure power in ways that set us truly free and allow us to truly remake the world in a way that is sustainable for centuries to come.